friend of mine once told me to do a search online. Search for photos of Earth, he said. This will blow your mind. So I opened up the Google and I looked for photos of Earth. Well, a lot of photos came up. He said, click on the first. He said, that's the famous blue marble that everybody's seen. We've seen this photo 1,000 times upon our TV screen. But let me tell you something about that famous shot. It's not a photo at all, man. It was made in Photoshop, cause there ain't no photographs, but somebody tell me why. They're all just Photoshop cartoons, they're all just CGI. No photographic proof of a clone, no, none at all. Why the hell can't no one take a photo of this ball? He was goddamn right. Well, that shit did blow my mind. Because I thought the blue marble was a photo all this time. Well, don't you think that's strange? He said suspiciously. Now, the fact that it ain't a photo seems pretty weird to me. I mean, the most important photo that man could ever take? This huge, iconic image turns out to be a fake? Well, I couldn't quite believe it, man. I was pretty shocked. I needed further proof that this photo's photoshopped. He said, look up Robert Simon. He made that cartoon ball. He's the guy you should research. He works for NASA and all. He openly admits that it's all just artistry. He said, and I quote, it's photoshopped, but it has to be. There ain't no photographs, but somebody tell me why. They're all just Photoshop cartoons, they're all just CGI. No photographic proof of a clone, no, none at all. Why the hell can no one take a photo of this ball? Yep, every photo of the Earth is artist trickery. All the photos on Google, man, are as fake can be. Download all the photos and put them side by side. Compare all the continents. They're each a different size. Compare all the colors, each globe a different shade. If all of these were photos, man, they should look the damn same. Where's the continuity? There's none. No, none at all. All that NASA gives us is a bunch of cartoon balls, cause there ain't no photographs, but somebody tell me why. They're all just Photoshop cartoons, they're all just CGI. No photographic proof of a clone, no, none at all. Why the hell can no one take a photo of this ball? Now we're supposed to have this telescope, right, that's flying past the stars, taking beautiful photos of Jupiter and Mars. Well, I've got a small suggestion, NASA. Here's something you can do. Point that thing at planet Earth and take a shot or two, because there should be goddamn thousands of photos of where we live. But Hubble ain't taken one. That's suspicious, don't you think? We got all these fancy pictures of spinning galaxies, but not one goddamn photo of the Earth for us to see. Cause there ain't no photographs, but somebody tell me why. They're all just Photoshop cartoons, they're all just CGI. No photographic proof of a clone, no, none at all. Why the hell can no one take a photo of this ball? There ain't no photographs, but somebody tell me why. They're all just Photoshop cartoons, they're all just CGI. No photographic proof of a clone, no, none at all. Why the hell can no one take a photo of this ball?
The Half-Empty Cup of Joe is sponsored by Milan Vukovic with Tahibo Tea. Just go to 1360khnc.com and click on the Tahibo Tea button at the top of the page.
This is your half-empty cup of Joe.
Pour a cup of this good-smelling coffee. It will taste as good as it smells.
This show is hosted by Joe Jaquint and Jason Walker. Because half a cup is better than no cup.
Good morning and welcome. The Thursday edition of the Half Empty Cup. Joe and Jason. I think we're going to have Flat Earth Dave today, but Dave is so smart, versatile, and hope maybe today I want to talk about some other stuff and see where Dave fits in on all of this. But really, first, very quickly, we did have a texter text in on the Patriot Show asking about what's up with DEX trade on Coinbase. Okay, well, those are two different exchanges. So DEX trade is the exchange that we currently DEX trade in Bitmart, where you can buy and sell Texit coin. Coinbase is the U.S. company along with Kraken. You do need to sign up for one of those two exchanges no matter what. I would do that ASAP, and there's reasons for that. The move to Coinbase and Kraken is coming. We want to make this thing as big as possible. Essentially, if you're big enough, Coinbase and Kraken will invite you. Or you have to buy your way onto it. We'd prefer not to buy our way on for it, but it's coming and coming quick. And just be patient as we get there. But just know, no matter what, you have to sign up for a Coinbase or Kraken. There's a couple of others that are U.S.-based no matter what. So I hope that answers the question. But what I wanted to get into, we started this discussion yesterday about all of a sudden the Trump administration, in the name of drugs, sending this fleet down off the waters of Venezuela. And then this morning, an article breaks that the Trump administration has directed the military to prepare for lethal strikes against cartels inside of Mexico. 3 different military sources have told, these unnamed sources, the top secret, apparently it ain't that secret, planning orders issued directs Northern Command to manage the attack plans, which Trump wants to be ready by mid-September. So Jason and Dave, this war on drugs, as the cover here, looks like the Trump administration is okay. Hey, we're going after the sovereignty of Mexico, and we'll go after the sovereignty of Venezuela. And apparently anybody else they decide is in the drug cartel business.
Dave, you can go first. I'm pretty settled on this, how fake the whole thing is. Well, you go first.
Well, that hits close to home for me. Because we spent a lot of time in Mexico, and you cannot transfer money now to the main Mexican banks we have because of some nonsense drug cartel accusations. And what it really is they are just pressuring Mexico to agree to the track and trace and digital ID, New World Order, whatever you call it, mandates. They want them to concede to that. So right now it's difficult. And then you first were talking about crypto. Well, there's an easy way around that. Just get a Kraken account and you can send anything to anybody down there in a second for a fraction of what the banks will charge you, and nobody stops you. So it's all good.
Right. Do you think, Dave, that they're going after Venezuela because of drug cartels or anything of that nature? I mean, I know what this is. Venezuela is one of the few sovereign nations left on the planet that's not fully engaged in the world system. And America, the world system as a whole has been trying to crack that nut since 9/11, and they just haven't got it. They've been unsuccessful since.
Yeah. I mean, going after them because of drugs when the American, government is the biggest drug dealers in the world, it's all just a theater. It's all theater. Yeah, and they are forcing, rogue nations like Venezuela, like Mexico, they're forcing them all to comply with, all the other, UN-based countries. So there you go. I mean, it's all the theater of war. They tell us it's theater. Go watch Wag the Dog. It's a documentary.
And Mexico isn't so much a rogue nation. I'm guessing there's a negotiation there, but Mexico is fully signed on. They're not going to be a problem.
Yeah. Well, the people of Mexico just don't listen to the government. So, the only power the government has is how much the people, the only power they have is how much the people are going to listen to them. Just imagine if everybody said, I no longer am going to listen to the government. What power would they have? They'd have nothing. They'd have no power. I mean, the power is all in our head. Like, I could give you $20 and you can give me a sandwich because you think the $20 is worth the value of the sandwich. Well, what the sandwich has value because I'm going to eat it and it's going to fill me up and nourish me. Hopefully it's a good sandwich. But the $20 bill is in your imagination. It's all a belief system.
Correct. Well, and Venezuela doesn't believe in the world system, I believe. That's how I've seen it, because one of the countries after 9/11 that was supposed to be taken out, not just Afghanistan and Iraq, but it was also Venezuela, among others. And Venezuela, Bush sent down the coup down there, and they put their puppet president in. And 2 days later, the people of Venezuela ran the American puppet president out and put Chavez back in. And it's exactly what you said. It's what the people's will, right? And the people's will in Venezuela is very pro-Maduro, pro-Chavez. And I believe very, very much so that if the Ukraine war comes to an end, there has to be an ongoing war because of the financial system needing to feed the military as a sieve, right? And so I believe a war in Venezuela is almost, it looks like that's what they're kind of preparing for, because it looks like the war in the Middle East didn't look like it went as planned. Israel started launching missiles that cost 15 times or 20 times or 100 times what the missiles that Iran was launching, and it became too expensive just on a couple of volleys. So I think the next war, we may be looking at a hot war in Venezuela just because they have to have one somewhere, Dave. Does that sound possible to you?
Wars are all contrived. So, yeah, it sounds reasonable, but it's all made up.
We'll be right back, guys.
We're back here, the half-empty cup, Joe and Jason, along with our guest today, Flat Earth Dave. And I'll just say, this is starting to get very interesting. The president has made no bones about, hey, I want to get a Nobel Peace Prize, and I'm going to end all these wars, right? He was going to end the Ukraine war in 24 hours, right? The Israeli thing, right? All this stuff was going to come to an end. And now, all of a sudden, all of that stuff is still happening and getting worse. And now it's like, okay, let's send battleships and submarines off the coast of Venezuela. And oh, by the way, if you believe this story that's out there, hey, he's fully prepared for the military to launch strikes inside of Mexico.
So actually attack Mexico? Is that what I'm hearing that right? Blowing up Mexico? Well, I guess the cartel.
The cartels, so I guess are we going to differentiate, I guess?
So if somebody is anti-big business, that might be cartel then.
So you're talking about the cartels that are supposedly putting fentanyl all over the place that people buy worldwide, and maybe some of that's true. Maybe lots of it comes from Mexico. But if you want to look right here in Connecticut, you got the Sackler family. They've got a beautiful mansion right on the water, and they're the ones distributing OxyContin around the world, which is a much bigger problem than all the fentanyl and all the other drugs combined. But that stuff goes through CVS and Walgreens and everything else, and doctors recommend it, and it's everywhere, and it caused more deaths than all the other ones combined. But nobody really cares about that.
Dave, there's some local areas in Colorado that have a deep history in building their empires of their straight businesses by starting with drug sales. You know, the city of Boulder, which is a liberal wacko place. A lot of the founders of that city, there's a whole bunch there if you want to get into conspiracy, but built on drugs. You know, the founding people that really built Boulder up fast, you know, the business interests, a lot of it was with drugs. There's a local furniture guy that did a whole lot of, you know, and I'm listening to old timers around here that know these people that were deep. You've heard of John Bonet Ramsey. Very much had a lot to do with these cartel of very wealthy businessmen that started building Boulder on drugs. And so, yeah, it's there's quite the problem here that we don't have to worry about Mexico.
There's a great movie / documentary called American Made. Have you ever seen it?
We talked about it yesterday when we were talking Venezuela. We played the scene where Tom Cruise was sitting in front of the district attorney of Arkansas, and then Bill Clinton calls. And then she
gets them right out.
I think the movie was made just because of that scene, because that actually happened.
The whole movie is a pretty accurate documentary of what's going on. And whether they're just making a good movie to make money or it's called Revelation of the Method, where they always have to tell us what they're doing, one or the other or both, it doesn't matter. You know, you want to talk the war on drugs? If they really wanted to take down the war on drugs, we better put on our helmets here in America, because that's where the problem is.
Yeah, the things that we war on tend to be the things that succeed very well, right? The war on terrorism, it just makes more terrorism, right? With war on drugs, you get more drugs, right? It doesn't seem to fix things. We got a caller that came in early. Let's encourage the callers and the texters. You can text or call by going to 877-536-1360. We're having a little trouble with our stream today. Jack and I think we figured it out. We may not have a stream today because our streaming service...
on Rumble?
We're on Rumble, and we have a couple of shows we do, and I think they see all the activity, and they want us to sign up for an additional account because we have so many hours of streaming going on, and they decided to not give us a warning about shutting this particular show off. So, Dave, I don't know if we'll have a stream, but we will have the podcast, the audio at our site, which I think is what you've been pulling. But let's go to the caller real quick. Brian, thanks for calling in.
Oh, boy.
A big hot war with Venezuela, is that what you're to talk about?
Well, no, I was just going to say regarding this Trump claiming that he's going to attack Mexico, cartels of Mexico, that ain't going to happen.
Are you sure?
Yep.
You're saying that America might actually not bomb a country that they say they're going to bomb?
That's true.
What makes you say that, Brian? I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm curious. No. Try not to deflect. Try not to poison the well. I'm asking you a question about what you just said. You just said that. I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm curious on what you think. I think you might be right, but I'm curious on what your opinion is.
I don't care what you think. Dave, you're nothing but a...
Why are you calling into the show that I'm on? Why are you calling into the show that I'm on?
You're nothing but a has-been salesman who couldn't make it selling solar panels, and now you're pandering to the terminally stupid.
I was doing so well in solar.
Now you're pandering to the terminally stupid.
Well, get rid of this guy.
Well, but Brian, so Brian, I love the energy, but man, I think Flat Earth Dave kicks ass, or else he wouldn't be a guest on the show. I mean, you don't have anything positive to say about Flat Earth Dave because I think the Earth
is flat.
I think he's such a swell dude.
Does Crazy Dave pay you to go on his show, or do you pay him?
Neither. That's called a false binary. I do it because these guys are cool, and I like spreading information to people that have brains and are able to think. Not everybody does, Brian.
You're pandering to the terminally stupid, Dave.
Well, welcome to the show. You're listening.
I pandered all.
Yeah, I'm listening for the entertainment. I'm listening for the entertainment aspect of it.
But Brian, let me say this, Brian. So what does this say about me then? I have vastly more people that say they don't want you on the air, and I tell them I wish I had 5 Brians. So what am I pandering to?
Well, I wouldn't be here if you had 5 Brians. Maybe 4, not 5.
Jason,
go ahead, Brian.
Jason, I really feel optimistic about you. I don't think that you really believe in this flat Earth nonsense. I think you're just.
Hey, Brian, do you have one globe proof without calling me a retard or whatever, without debunking flat Earth? Give me one proof that the Earth is a globe. That's all. Forget flat Earth.
Oh, he jumped
pretend
off.
There is no flat Earth.
He jumped off.
Yeah, see,
we got
that's
to the
what
serious
they do. They
part.
always run. They always run. They always run. They love debunking. How about this? Pretend that flat Earth isn't even here, and someone goes, "Yeah, the Earth is a globe." What proof do we have? And there's no other theories. Give me one proof the Earth is a globe, and you got nothing. You got nothing from any credible sources.
Dave, not in defense of Brian so much, but just mostly as a defense to my own ignorance. And I think everyone's ignorant. I think the entire planet, everyone on the planet is
ignorant to everything we don't know.
Well,
everything we don't know.
I think reality can quite possibly be a completely made up construct, which means if it's like a video game, then the Earth isn't flat. It's not a ball. It's whatever. My theory is, Dave, that the people, the souls, if you want to call them, of the people that are in this reality.
Yeah.
If it's a false reality, then we can literally by willpower change the reality because it's a false reality. So it could be a globe.
You'd be out of this reality. The reality that you and I are talking here right now is a physical. I'll call it simulation. I'm down with that. But it's on a low vibrational physical area, and that area is flat. Right? Now, if you can change it to globe, you and I won't be able to talk anymore because we won't be in the same reality. But this reality that we're all experiencing is a level, horizontal, non-rotating, topographical, stationary plane.
What I'm saying is I think it could actually be changed simply by the people's thoughts inside the reality. The only reason I don't go to the flat Earth, because like I said, if someone said you have to choose flat or a ball, I'm going to say it's flat because it makes more sense. But what I'm saying is because I was wrong about so many things, I was taught so many things, and I'm constantly having to tell myself I was wrong about this, I was wrong about this, I was wrong about this. It never comes to an end. So as soon as I take a position, I feel like I'm already wrong just by taking a position because someone comes around and shows me how wrong I am.
The position is it's not a spinning globe in a space vacuum, which violates natural law. We do have to obey some laws.
So hold on. Let me say this, though. I'm going to do devil's advocate with you.
Yeah.
If I create a video game and you and Joe are in the video game, and the video game I created is a ball Earth, that your characters inside that video game are on a ball Earth.
Correct.
That's just the way it is.
Correct. Absolutely.
So how is that? Is it not possible that this reality can be changed?
We are in a reality. No, well, you can't change it in that game because that's the game. We're in the flat Earth game. That's the game
Have you ever played,
we're in. That's the one.
I remember my son used to play Minecraft. In Minecraft, you can take things apart and rebuild them.
Yeah, well, no one's doing that here.
How do you know? How do you know, though, Dave? Really? How do you know?
Because you would see it. You would see it. I just did an interview with Archaix, Archaix.
Oh, that's Jason.
Yeah, Jason. Right, he's. I think he's near you guys. But whatever. And it was. We talked about all that stuff, and you can find it on my channel, flatearthdave.com. Click the interviews channel. It's right at the top of the list right now.
He's big on non-player characters. He believes a lot of the people walking around the Earth are not even real people.
Brian. Yeah.
Brian's a non-player character because he doesn't have a brain of open thought that knows that it's possible that everything is a lie around us. He's programmed. And being programmed makes you a non-player character.
Listen, when there's things that I hate, I don't call in every week. I don't call in every week and then say I don't do that. Flat Earthers don't do that. Globers do that. It's really weird. It's just a weird world.
Well, sometimes the information, Dave, makes sense deep inside where you don't want it to be.
That's right. I'll tell you why.
Kind of like a stomach ache, you have to do something about it.
Let me tell you why. How much time do we have to break?
We have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
We hit 3 minutes. All right. So most people don't like school because deep down inside, your soul knows that they're teaching you complete and total nonsense. Everything from the math that they teach us to the history that they teach us to space, astronomy, all of that. It's all fake. And deep down inside, your true soul knows that it's fake. So you hate school. You hate learning. So you're memorizing and regurgitating to get the A rather than critically thinking and using your God-given common sense. When you get out of school, you're finally done. You're like, I'm done. I don't have to do that anymore. And then somebody comes over and rocks your world and says, oh, by the way, Earth is flat, and everything you've ever dreamed of, and everything you've ever thought, everything you ever figured out, it's all wrong, and you got to learn it again. And people say, I don't want to learn again. I don't want to do school again. So they will not look at it. They will not look at it because it's too painful for their egos, and they don't want to do the work.
It also makes a very unsafe situation in your friend and family circles.
Yeah. By the way, I have to say this. Alex, Conspiracy Music Guru, the music that you played earlier, great music. but he likes Brian. He just texted me, I like Brian. All right. He likes Brian.
I like Brian, too. I love Brian.
He likes Brian.
Like I said, if I had 5 Brians calling, this would be the most popular show in the country. Yeah. we could just get more people to argue with us. It's hard because people don't like to argue. They get they get their feelings hurt. You know, it happens. Sometimes when someone really hits you with some logic, it happens to me too. Once in a while, someone will say something like, "Yeah, God, that guy's right. I just don't want him to be right."
Alex, the conspiracy music guru, is very talented musician. I'm just wondering, like, why is it the very talented musicians are all homosexuals? I mean, they are. Okay, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just pointing out that the most talented ones are homosexuals.
I didn't know he was a homo. Come on, man. You just destroyed my image of Alex, the conspiracy music guru. Now I have to admit that I love homo music.
I love him, though. I'm actually going to visit him in September. I'm going to visit him with a bunch of other truthers.
I thought he had a wife.
Party.
Come on, man. I thought he had a wife.
She's a beard. She's a total beard. You know?
So Michelle Obama introduced them.
Yeah. Absolutely. His wife's not a tranny. She's a woman, but she's with him for his talent, not his manly presence. Okay. All right, let's move on from that.
That was awesome. Probably the best segment we've done on the Half Empty Cup of Joe. If I have to, I'll put it there and I'll nominate it in the top 10. Thank you, Brian. It was a great way to start the show. Joe?
I'll just say this. I was like, hey, let's do something other than flat Earth. And
and then Brian showed up. I hate flat Earth.
Brian shows up and says, hey, the United States is not going to conduct military operations in Mexico. And Dave goes, hey, you may be right, but tell me why you think that. And all of a sudden, it just went off the wheels. It just did. Brian lost all capacity to think at all. We'll be back after this.
It's going to get better. We have 2 more callers. It's going to get better.
We're back here, the Half Empty Cup, Joe and Jason, along with Flat Earth Dave, 877-536-1360 is the call and or text line. Brian is a seminar caller. Am I saying that right? I don't know. I mean, I can't read. I don't know if the Earth is flat, but the 550-year-old Copernicus theory of a spinning sphere hurtling through the universe at high speeds is fake, gay, and retarded. So listen, we've covered it all.
You got my favorite words. All in one sentence.
Right? Right? The only thing we missed was the midgets. I like that caller. He's arguably the most entertaining person. He is entertaining in that. Can you ask Dave
like a clown?
Explain?
Like a clown.
Right. Yes. Well, yes. They laugh at him, not with him. Can you ask Dave to explain when they changed the globe-tard Earth and why? And Dave, I'll let you answer that in a second. Don't let Brian harass Dave, said one of the texters.
Right? You know what? It can't be a free speech space if we don't let Brian or anybody else do a little harassing.
He can do whatever he wants.
We need to have some harassing here. It's no good if there's no harassing. If there's no harassing, you turn the channel.
Just remember, no more than 4 Brians. 5 and I'm out. Okay?
All right, there we go. So what about the one texter? I know in school it was flat Earth till it wasn't. When was that?
So there's a lot of controversy about that, but I interviewed a woman named Ruth in 2020 who was 102 years old, and she said she was taught flat Earth. That's what they were teaching in public schools here in the USA in the 1920s and early 30s. And we found somebody out later that said in the 50s they were still teaching both because they didn't know.
I have a listener, Dave. I have a listener that talked to me about 6 months ago. He was in elementary school in the 70s, and they still had... they had a globe Earth model and a flat Earth model in the classroom.
Right. And, and then all of a sudden Flat Earth disappeared. The Gleason's map, which is the most accurate map of the world, it's one that, pilots use for autopilot and everything. They removed that from libraries, from encyclopedias, from everywhere. And, and most people have never seen it. A lot of people, when they see that, they're going, oh, that's how that works.
I have a copy of it hanging in my office. When the gold customers and Texas customers are coming in, I just say, turn around, there it is. There's the map, Dave.
And if you look at like flight routes on there, just the other day, I think Putin and the actor Trump met in Alaska.
Yes.
And if you look at it on a Mercator map, it's like, why did they meet in Alaska? Like Washington's in the middle, but you look at a Flat Earth map, Alaska's in the middle, right? Exactly. They both traveled the same distance to Alaska, and there's a lot of secret stuff going on in Alaska anyway. They probably got some beautiful places there for them to meet. So
Trump sure got owned by Putin during that meeting, didn't he?
I didn't even pay attention to the meeting. I just heard, people like,
they broke the when they had these official meetings between countries. Putin literally broke the rules of decorum and just stepped all over America. It was bad, and Trump just sat there and just bowed to Putin.
There's two possibilities. One, that actually happened, or two, it's just scripted, so everybody would like, Trump got walked on, Trump's the king, Trump's going to save us, Trump's the enemy, we don't know.
Right.
They're all actors in my book.
Like one of the rules of decorum is the host country, after the meeting, when they greet the press, the host country is supposed to speak first. Putin just came right in and just started blabbering away with like an 8-minute speech. And Trump just nodded his head the whole time. So it was awful. Let's get to the callers.
Okay.
They waited through the break. 877-536-1360. Caller text line. We love the callers. It just lit the show on fire. Keith, you're up. Freddie, you'll be next. Keith, go ahead.
Hey, aloha from Florida, guys. How are you?
Hey, it's great, Keith. Go for it.
So yeah, I'm Flat Earth. Dave and I know each other. It's your show. We can talk about... I just got 5 or 10 minutes. I can hang with you. We can do whatever you want.
You only get like 60 seconds on this show. Give them your best in 60-seconder.
Well, let's talk about the scientific absurdities that are going on in the heliocentric hypothesis. I'm sure you guys probably don't know what the vacuum catastrophe is or the cosmological constant problem, but the theoretical physicist Michio Kaku says that it is the largest mismatch in the history of science between observation and theory. It's also known as the largest failure in the history of physics. It's where what they see in the sky versus what they believe about the solar system, which is funny. We don't have a solar system. We have an Earth system. The sun's not the center of anything. Nothing's going around the sun. Everything's going around and over the North Pole. That's observable objective reality. It's also called the geocentric cosmology. But anyway.
All right. You still there, Keith?
Something happened. He cut loose. I don't know if that's his phone.
He actually made a great point, right? Everything in the sky, all of the planets circle Polaris. They don't circle the sun. They circle Polaris, including the sun, including the moon, including every star and every planet, a.k.a. wandering star. They all circle Polaris, and Polaris never moves, even though the Earth is allegedly moving 4.5 billion miles a year, curving through space, right? It doesn't work. When you look at any of these things deeply, each and every one of them absolutely disprove the absurdity of the heliocentric, as Keith says, hypothesis.
All right. We have another caller. Something that just occurred to me. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I just said thanks, Keith. Thanks, Keith. He's used to having a little more time, but I
didn't cut him loose. I really think
it's all right. Something happened.
Yeah, something happened.
He's in a low service area.
Something occurred to me, and Davey, I don't think you've ever heard my other show, but Joe, you'll get this. Brian said he had faith in me. I was like, I don't know. Has he listened to Fake News Friday? Should he really be having faith that I'm going to be something that he's proud of in the future?
I will say this. I have no faith. So, I mean, I think that is the most positive possible statement that Brian's made on the show yet, that he has faith in you. To me, if anything, that proves that Brian's on the wrong track. That's all. That if he's got faith that Jason is going to somehow come all the way back around again, he's sadly mistaken.
I actually heard some information on Brian that he actually got boosted like 15 times. He got all boosters twice. Is that true? Because that would explain something.
He's very vaxxed and very proud of it. That's for sure. So
okay.
I mean,
wow. Well, that's surprising.
He calls our show to brag about his routine visits to the vaccinations. So
really, for real?
Yeah, he gives us the updates.
People sometimes go to me, "Oh, you're a flat earther. You're probably an anti-vaxxer too," and I'm like, "Hell yeah,
yes,
you got that right. You got that right."
Well,
wow, that really explains it. So now, and I'll be nicer to him.
Well, Dave, if you're ever interested, 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Oh, no, excuse me, 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock on a Friday night, which I guess you're East Coast. That would be 5 to 8 your time. I do Fake News Friday. I just play hard rock music and I just goof on everything around me. So if you're interested, you can call in. The more the merrier is the way I look at it. Freddie, I know you're holding to another break. You're a patient man. You'll be first up on the other side. You're listening to Half Empty Cup of Joe. We have Flat Earth Dave.
We're back here, the Half Empty Cup, 877-536-1360. We had some callers waiting patiently. Jason, let's get back out to the phone lines, and we'll get back to Flat Earth Dave.
877-536-1360, caller text line. Freddie, you're up. Thanks for waiting. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a great show today. I wanted to make the comment. There's definitely they're going to be doing these invasions in these other countries because they have to get this digital enslavement system in place worldwide. And any country that doesn't go along with the program, they'll just be invaded because the United States itself is being used of their military might for the policies of the United Nations. You know, the United Nations sits in New York. That is the body of the world government that people don't want to acknowledge that exists. And they don't realize this is all these terms about new world order, it's really a new world disorder because there's nothing lawful about any of these things that they're doing. And it's just crazy how many people out here just don't see the handwriting on the wall concerning all this because it's there. The information is there for people to look at, so I just wanted to say that. Another thing I wanted to say, isn't Brian himself an atheist? He doesn't believe in the existence of God.
Yes, Brian is an atheist.
Wow.
See, that's sad because when you have somebody like that, they have no hope at all anyway with anybody or anything because they're completely out of pocket with that. I mean, if you can't go outside and look outside into the sky and say this all just came by an accident, I feel sorry for the guy. I really do.
Can I run you through a scenario, caller? Just real quick. So first,
sure.
No judgment. Is the Earth flat or a globe? In your opinion, just curious where you stand.
I don't really. The thing is, the debate about it, you're
unsure. You're unsure.
It's not a. I'll put it this way: it's not a salvation issue to me.
Well, all right. So hang on. That's a whole other topic we don't have time for. But so the Big Bang, once upon a time there was nothing. It exploded. It became everything. So that could be a godless creation. Or God did the Big Bang, right? You have two choices. So we live in this world. But are you breathing air right now? Yes.
Of course.
Okay. And air needs to be contained because air will always fill the available space. And we can prove that gravity is not holding down air by putting a fish tank in a room and then suck the air out of the room. The air should remain in the fish tank if gravity could hold it down, but it doesn't, right? No matter what at the slightest difference of pressure, air will always equalize. So that means that there is some sort of container over the land that we live. And a container cannot be made by random chance. So something made the container in order for us to be able to breathe. Therefore, there's a God.
Yeah, of course there's a God. There's no question about it. It's just It's so sad that Brian I don't know if he's listening, but there's a guy in his neck of the woods in Colorado. There's a guy in his neck of the woods. I've forgotten what area of Colorado. His name is Brian Melvin. He was an atheist, and he has an unbelievable tale of his experience and how he converted from atheism to beliefism in the existence of God. And I highly recommend Brian out there check out Brian Melvin's YouTube channel, Christian Marauder, and take a look at that because he really needs Jesus in his life.
I think the understanding of God gets. Listen, Freddie, and I've said this several times. I'll keep pounding this. When we keep attaching the word belief to God, that you start to lose the argument. I wish people would say, "I know God exists. I prove God."
Yeah.
Dave, I don't know if I've done this, and I'll do the quick version of it. But basically, you can model what God is. In my understanding of the world, anything that's very small in an ecosystem can reflect a larger situation, and very large situations can be reflected by something local or where you're at personally. And so if you look at a wall at a house that's empty, and I won't go through the whole thing, but you put a fish tank there, the cabinet, the water, the tank, the rocks, the bacteria base, you create something that wasn't there. Now, maybe I didn't physically make the fish tank, but I created that. The fish is there. The fish don't know why they're there. They have no idea what I am. They don't have a concept of God, but that is a model for God. God is a provable.
Right.
Provable. So if you don't say you know God exists, by saying you believe God exists, you're already losing the argument against an atheist.
The same thing. I use the example, like, do you believe in cars? Right? Well, yeah, there has to be a manufacturer. They don't just come out of nowhere. Somebody manufactured them, so there is a creator for cars. The world
Dave, to me,
is intelligently designed.
To me, Dave, the argument is only what is God. And I don't think any human can prove what God is. I think that's the problem, and that's what creates wars, right?
When we have 3 minutes, I have a theory, and I'll tell you what I think God is.
Go ahead and start. I think Freddie, thanks for the call. Go ahead, start into it.
So I think that nowhere in the Bible does it talk about God creating water. Water was here, and I think God was always here. So water is all around us. It's above us and below us in the flat earth model, if you understand that. If you and I were standing at the edge of the water watching the sunset, right, the sun is walking on the water. It's walking on the water to your feet and to my feet. Now, you can't see the line that goes to my feet. I can't see the line that goes on your feet. So the sun in the sky is the physical consciousness that God gives us, and the water is the physical manifestation of it. So when you look into the water, you see reflection of yourself, right? And you see yourself in the water. Water falls from the sky, so it kind of dies. It saves us, grows food, does everything, hydrates us, and then it resurrects itself and goes back to the heavens above, right? You can't be alive without water. It's in us. It's around us. Water holds memory. Water, one drop of water holds terabytes of information. Everything relies on water. Like when people throw a coin into a fountain and make a wish, they're praying to the water. What is that about water? Why are you doing that? Right? So you're literally praying. And if you know about Dr. Emoto, he can yell at water or he can sing to water, and he freezes it, and it reflects the pattern of that feeling. So when you pray for your food over your food, you're praying and you're changing the structure of the water in that food. There you go.
My wife is always trying very hard to get us to be positive about our junk food when we eat it, because it can be more nutritious by simply willing it to be so. And I've heard a lot of this.
Some water in it.
It's true. Believe it or not, Joe, it's true. The water, under a microscope, the water changes if you yell at it or if you sing to it.
I'm going to just tell you guys, since was it keep you.
Yes, I told him to remember that, because that's another damning fact where you listen when it comes to a street near you. Probably not. No amount of evidence will ever persuade an idiot. No amount of evidence, it seems. No amount of showing you 100 or 1,000 proofs will ever get your blinded eyes to see. Oh, no amount of evidence will ever persuade an idiot. No amount of evidence, it seems. How quickly with your condemnation without real investigation sounds like ignorance to me.
Do you see this, back. Joe? Do you see these pictures, Joe?
Yes.
Okay,
so they look like
snowflakes.
Like snowflakes, yeah.
The first one, that water was told thank you, and that's what it looks like. Joe, take a look.
What's funny? Conspiracy Music Guru just texted me. He said he's changing the name of that song to the Brian song.
Well, we'll have to talk some 5G with the Conspiracy Music Guru. Dave, I know you can't see it, but we're showing Joe pictures of words and songs that were played to the water, and then the picture that was taken from the water. That one in the middle, Joe, that is truth. The next one, keep going, Joe, Jack, because we want to see this. This one is love and gratitude, and this is what the picture showed up. This is what the water turned into on a microscopic level. Go to the next one, Jack. That was spoken to the water. Evil. Evil.
Wow.
That's water.
Wow.
This one here, you disgust me, and that's what the water. This is what it looks like under magnification. Keep going, Jack. Let's see some more. You fool. This is the one. This is what it looks like when you say you fool. This one here is a song. John Lennon, Imagine. So it's a song.
Okay.
The next one is Beethoven. Right?
Interesting.
Jack, the next one. Here's Mozart. Next one is Amazing Grace. Here's heavy metal music.
So,
hey, by the way, not a very pretty picture compared to, say, Amazing Grace or Mozart.
Go ahead.
The tuning of our music was 432 until sometime in the early mid 1900s, and then the Rockefellers did a forced change where it's all 440. 432 heals the body. And by the way, Conspiracy Music Guru, he does. He has two albums called Solfeggio. I can't pronounce the word. Solfeggio. There you go. Which is this 432 hertz music, which literally you play it and you can feel it healing your body. So, they've really screwed us up on everything. All of the big old churches, which all have ridiculous stories when they were built, they have these incredible organs in it. And if you look back in the 1950s or 60s, they say that the Carnegies funded 700 churches to have these organs. Bull crap. They've been there for hundreds of years, but they had to make up a story about these organs. They excuse me.
So
they were healing centers. Good.
We have heard these things from people that would come out and say, if you play music or you talk to your plants, right, you're going to have healthier plants or, they're going to grow better, what have you. Yet nobody, like you would think if that was the case, why aren't we having these speakers out in the fields, right? Singing to our crops or things of that nature. And I'll just say this about God and what I believe as far as the globe model and why it came into existence is simply they want to disprove God. Period. I think that 100%. Is the only reason. I think you go back to Copernicus and all these, and they want to disprove God. I think it's just that simple. I don't think it's any more complicated than that. We'll be back. Stay with us. Do something. We're back. The half-empty cup. Joe and Jason Flatter, Dave, and a really interesting discussion, at least as far as I'm concerned, because I'm fascinated by this stuff. So we had a guy that used to come on, Gene Kuntz, talking about electrical beams, and he had this machine with these tubes in it with different gases that with different colors of light that you could sit in front of and help your body heal itself. And we talk about water, and Jason under the microscope showing what different things that, like, if you project angry things under a microscope, the water looks ugly. If you project, positive things under a microscope, it looks really pretty, right? And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, because Dave was talking about frequencies and saying, hey, listen, we've known for a very, very long time that a certain frequency resonates with our body's energy. In other words, certain frequencies can help the body heal itself. And Dave, if I heard you right, you're saying that we made a conscious, not we, but a conscious decision was made to not use that frequency.
Yep.
By what you only can be described as evil. What can you tell me? What the benefit of the frequency they chose is? Is there a benefit to that frequency?
A benefit to them. The benefit is people will be sick all the time. The churches weren't churches in the old world. They were healing centers. They had giant bells so big you can't imagine. They'd ring the bells. Not only would that tune the frequency of all of the people every hour on the hour, it would heal people. And then the organs in these churches. You ever go to an old church and they occasionally play the old organ? It'll blow your mind. And these are how things were healed. I actually have a machine. I call it my Tesla coil that was made in Mexico. They're not cheap, and they do amazing things. Now, I don't make any claims because you're not allowed to in this stupid world, but I tell people that have cancer, the people that have Parkinson's, people that are experiencing wicked menopause or whatever, someone with a broken foot, to come over and use the machine, and it makes them feel good. But one of the side effects is all of those things go away. It's absolutely mind-blowing what they're hiding from us.
The machine that Joe was talking about earlier it's a Rife machine. It's the same thing that you're talking about.
Well, it's a little different. My friend has a Rife machine, and I've used that.
The machine we're talking about over here in Colorado is also a Tesla coil machine.
Right. Yeah. So the Rife machine, that you tune it into a specific frequency, and that is an awesome machine if you have a real one and a good one. This one is a little different. And it's amazing. If anyone's interested in just to see what it is and what it does, I literally just opened – I put a video on my YouTube channel just yesterday, so it's the last video. If you go to YouTube and type in DITRH, that stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, the initials for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, DITRH. It's the last video there. But – if anyone, people are like, where do I get one? They're not cheap. They're over $10,000. So don't ask if you're unwilling to,
So I would have Gene back on. I reached my hand out to get him back on the air. There's still some communication issues about things, but if I can get him back on, the machine is not exactly a Rife machine. It has noble gases on it. When the electricity goes, you can see them light up. And it does frequencies. It's not just the Rife. I just said Rife machine because some people are more aware of that type of machine. But it sounds like almost the exact same thing. These things are around the country.
It literally changes the frequency around your body. All of your red blood cells that are clumped together, they separate, so you get microcirculation. It changes the pH of your body. It puts this negative field around your body, so all the cells in your body go into homeostasis and they can heal. Now people go, oh, that's not true. Have a nice life. Goodbye. I don't sell this to anybody. I've been having some friends come over. A friend had aggressive colon cancer, and he used it 3 times. He went to the doctor, and they said, hey, it's not spreading, and it got a little bit smaller. Then he used it 4 or 5 times a week for about a month, and he went back, and he had a colonoscopy, and they're like, we can't find the tumor. And then he did more tests. They're like, we can't find any cancer either. I think that's just a coincidence. It has nothing to do with my machine. I'm making any claims, all right? But I've only seen miracles happen to people that use this machine.
Yeah, your machine fixed him. Great.
No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all.
Your machine's a miracle. It fixed him. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with claims. I think people are too worried about being sued all the time. I mean, I guess it sucks when it happens to you, but it's like, I don't know. It's hard to live your life worrying about the spider that's going to come and snare you in his web. You know what I mean? It's hard. There's always dangers in the world. But Joe, we have a couple minutes here. We have an abundance of texts that were coming up. Let's read a couple of those before we hit the break.
Yeah, so let's get through some of these. One of them I will address later. Thank you for that article, by the way, with Dextrade and Coinbase. If the U.S. bombs Mexican cartels, it will be because the cartels are the de facto government of Mexico, and even though they use Federal Reserve notes to conduct business, they are unbanked government system and will not be allowed to exist unbanked indefinitely. I guess you could use that as justification, right? Yeah, there's logic in that without a doubt. I would rather listen to Flat Earth Days than brain dead Brian. All right. Great show, Joe and Jason. Regarding Trump and Putin, it was my opinion that Trump was a gracious host. Let Putin be the rock star to keep the peace.
Nope.
You know, there can be logic to that as well, right? We don't know, right? Everybody, listen, if you hate Trump, Putin cleaned his clock. If you like Trump's, hey, let me have Vlad have his moment, and then we can strike a deal, right, whatnot. We'll see, all right? I think it's dog and pony. Nothing's going to happen, but we'll see. What does the firmament dome set on Earth? On top of an ice wall, question mark, on the other side of the wall that we don't see? What is it?
So the question is, where does the firmament attach to the Earth? Does it attach to the Earth? And the answer is, I can't answer that. It must attach somewhere because it needs to contain the water. And the way I look at it, page 1 of the Bible says God separated the waters from the waters. And so there's water. Space is water. Everything they talk about in space, ships, the Sea of Tranquility, everything. Think of a bubble on the bottom of a pot that's about to boil, and you're inside that bubble. You're a microbe. That dome is above you, separating the waters from the waters.
We'll have more with Flat Earth Dave. Keep on listening to the Half Empty Cup of Joe. 877-536-13.
We're back. The Half Empty Cup. Joe and Jason, along with Flat Earth Dave, and kind of getting into, just when you get down into the rabbit hole, how deep can you get? It's amazing to think about how just a couple little things, and it would be maybe a completely different world, and the reluctance to think outside of what it is that they've slammed down our throats in school. And the elimination of God. And it's funny when you think about church bells and organs and all of a sudden, man, doesn't that make a lot more sense? Right? Doesn't that make a lot more sense than God? Why did they have them? Right? Why do all of those things? Because you know what? It made people feel better, right? And that's kind of like the God thing, right?
During the First World War, or first or second or both, they collected the bells because they needed the metal to make bullets. And there's many towns that hid their bells. They buried them, and those bells are being discovered now when new construction projects are happening. And we know about the Liberty Bell. That was a little Dinkle bell. That was a little tiny bell compared to some of the bells that they had. And they used these bells also to dissolve hurricanes. So when a hurricane's coming, all the cathedrals would ring their bells, and the vibration would dissolve the hurricane.
A lot of that happened around World War before and after World War I and World War II, Dave, can be considered an operation to eliminate such things and eliminate such understandings of our earlier history, or what early history might have been, because as you mentioned many times, we've done these shows before. The older the buildings that were founded, not made. You got the Freemasons bricks that tells you that certain buildings were founded. There's no real understanding of how those buildings were made, how they existed, or why they existed, and what the purposes of these buildings are. Like castles, for instance. Who would really want to live in a castle when it's kind of a place to just go get sick and die, basically? It seems like these big buildings had other purposes. And we'll have to cover that more exclusively, Dave, on a show where we can really dig into it, because I've done these shows before. I had another guy that would come on. We talk about these empty cities, photos with the empty cities, and Tartaria and all this other stuff.
I'm going to recommend a YouTube channel. YouTube BitChute, on everywhere. My Lunch Break. Watch a couple of those and your whole world. The rabbit hole is deep on that one. My Lunch Break, and he just goes into all these buildings and shows you how absolutely, not ridiculous, impossible the stories are. Impossible.
Excellent. Let's get these callers going. Denise is up first, and then Rick. If you want to call in, it's 877-536-1360. Denise, go ahead. Thanks for waiting through the break.
Hi. Point of interest here. First of all, the concert A, I've seen it once. It's actually 439 point something. It's not actually 440. However, if you go back into the Baroque period, the time of Johann Sebastian Bach and Dietrich Buxtehude and Georg Friedrich Telemann and hundreds of others, the tuning scale at that time, concert A, from 1650 to about 1750, was 415. And you will find that there are groups like the Academy of Ancient Music and Concert 415 and Brook Street Band and lots of other ones who play Baroque music actually tune their system to 415.
Dave?
I think she's saying what I'm saying, just she has the numbers are just slightly different than what I was saying. I'm a round off kind of guy.
Denise, you're talking about 440 hertz and versus 432, but you're saying 415 is a completely different, a third tuning?
Oh, I didn't.
That was the standard tuning from 1650 to 1750 was 415 for concert A.
You're probably more knowledgeable than I am on that, and so is Conspiracy Music Guru. I just know that 440 is very discordant to the body, to your health, and that's what we're listening to all the time. There's converters. You can get apps that'll do it, and you can take a song, and that's at 440, a beautiful song even, and then put it into 432, and when you listen to 432, your hair stands up, you get chills, you get emotional. Totally different.
Thank you, Denise, for the call. Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to dig into that a little deeper. That's one of the things I looked into as well as Dave is this thing, and I listened to some of the songs off Conspiracy Music Guru's album, and it's definitely different.
Just go to his website, conspiracymusicguru.com, and click on 432 and buy that album. It's amazing. Buy a whole bunch of them. Give them out as gifts.
Buy the album just to listen to it and see what happens.
Yeah, I think you could. There's a digital download, and I think he has actual CDs or CDs. Yes. But you can download it immediately and then just start listening to it. Take a little nap. Put on your headphones and listen to it. You'll wake up as a new person.
877-536-1360 will go to Rick, our other caller that's on the line here. You can call in or text in on that line. Rick, thanks for calling in. You're up.
Hey, Dave, just like your explanation about school and education, I hated school as well. And you're right that people resist. I resisted, want to learn something different. But once you get on that path, Dave, I'm liking. I was getting apathetic about life, actually. There's nothing really exciting. But now I'm excited every day.
Every day, learn something new.
Learn.
Every day I'm studying, learning new things. It's actually mind-blowing when you reach this point because it's all information. It all resonates. It's all about resonance. It resonates with your soul. Lies make you weak. Truth makes you strong. And, the truth is what we're looking for. But most people don't know any truth. Their entire world is fake and gay. The entire world.
Amen to that, Dave. But I concur with you about your concept of God. And far be it for me to teach you something, but something that you could add to your explanation that I tell people as well is that God, because it always confused me. God created us in His image. Well, what does God look like? Well, when we're born, we're 85% water.
Right. Maybe even more. Water is consciousness. It's everywhere at all times in various different forms. It's everything. It holds memory. It is literally the definition of God.
Rick, hang on one second here. I'm going to play. I have a quick short that I was waiting for the right show on, and I didn't get it in when Dave was talking about school. But since you brought it back up, Jack, go ahead and play this. You should be able just to listen to it. But if you're, our stream isn't working, but play this vid. Listen to this, guys, and see what you think, because he's talking about school and how it was planned to be the way it is. Go ahead, Jack.
Every parent who sends their kids to public school unknowingly makes a deal that if you give the school your child for 15 years, your child will get a transcript, which will allow them to take out a loan so that they could go to college. Because the transcript reigns as king in that agreement, performance on standardized testing and grades means everything. So students are tasked with repeating what the teacher says and repeating what's in the textbook. And if they do a good job of that, they can take out a loan and go to college. So you give the school your 3-year-old, and at 18 years old, they still have no skills and no real-world experience. They lack the ability to survive independent of their mom and dad, corporations, and the government. The only thing they are qualified to do is take out a loan and start their young life in college debt. So just imagine, you, your 3-year-old, and the school principal sit down for a talk, and he tells you that if you allow his school to educate your 3-year-old for the next 15 years, the only thing your 18-year-old will be able to do is take out a loan to go to college in the only form of unforgivable debt. They won't have any skills, they won't have any experience, they won't know how to do anything. Now, would you make that agreement? Well, that's the exact agreement that parents make with their local school district every day. And if it were me, I would want that principal to tell me that my 18-year-old will be a critical thinker, a problem solver, will have lots of skills, will have lots of real-world experience, entrepreneurship, will understand financial literacy, will know their rights. I would want to know that my 18-year-old won't be reliant on me, won't be reliant on corporations, and won't be reliant on the government. And that, above all, is what I love to help parents with. Check out.
There you go. What do you say, Dave and Rick? I mean, that sums it up.
I say that all the time. I tell, first, college is literally population control. I only had 2 kids because I was worried about college, right? But college and sending your kids to public school is literally child abuse. And I've told people for a decade now, one of my favorite podcasts is Crow 777 Radio, and they cover all of these life experiencing topics, from the way to birth a child to managing your money to just everything. And I say, just have the kid listen to 4 old episodes a week and 1 new one, because there's 1 new every week. So 2 hours a day, and it'll be a better education than ever. And to my surprise, a bunch of families did it. And they said their kids got off the couch. They stopped playing video games. They got interested in life. They're starting their own businesses. They're not in debt, and they're thriving in the community. They got girlfriends. They're literally they snapped out of their teenage drunken, stupid stupor, and they've woken up, and they're not in debt, and they're not indoctrinated anymore.
Rick, do you have a comment before we go to Joe?
Well, that short you just played kind of explains what I said about how I was feeling apathetic about life, and now with the new quest for knowledge, it does make you excited about life, but I wanted to say something to Dave about his comment, about his little riff about conspiracy music guru being gay. And Dave,
it's okay that he's gay. Don't look down on him for that. It's okay.
No.
And he's got a beautiful beard wife.
No, listen, I really think you're pulling my joint on that one.
Look at him. Look at how well he acts. Of course he's gay.
But it doesn't matter, because I love him even more now, because
that's okay.
What?
You might be gay
wait a minute, Rick. Okay, Rick, I didn't know you were gay as well. I mean, you love him more now? Come on, Rick.
Listen,
my whole audience is turning gay. I don't know what's going on here.
Listen, because he never has sung a song about how he wants to because he wants he never has sung a great song about how he wants to cram it down my throat. But your comment about talented people, really talented people will be gay. So Jason is really talented. So are you saying that Jason
No, Jason's talented, but he's not literally the best in the business.
Talented.
Conspiracy Music Guru is one of the best in the business. He might even be the best in the business. You know, I met him at a conference, and he asked me, "Well, what type of music listen?" I said, "You know, I really like Dave Matthews. You guys know Dave Matthews, good." And he goes, "Oh," he goes, "I don't know him." And I was like, "You don't know Dave Matthews?" I played a song for him, and he goes, "Garbage." And I'm like, "Oh, this guy's full of himself." But then I heard his stuff. It's actually way better than Dave Matthews.
Yeah.
Right? So he was right there.
Amazing.
But it's always the gays. Always.
I have talent. You know, I'll
joint,
say this.
Dave.
I've got talent in one area. I'm really good at picking a fight. I love just starting trouble and seeing the look on the other guy's face. That's been my talent my whole life. That's why I end up on the radio.
Hey, Jason, I'll meet you out back after the show.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right. Wow. Uh-oh. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
We're back here, the half-empty cup. Joe and Jason, along with Flat Earth Dave. Dave, texter, wanted you to repeat how to get the 432 hertz CD slowly.
Okay, Conspiracy Music Guru, GURU.com, and then just click 432, and his stuff is right there. Right? And just one more thing on him being gay. He sells pillows. All right? They're actually on my app. If you go on my app and go to the shopping section and click it, there's a big pop-up that Conspiracy Music Guru Flat Earth pillows. I mean, gay. All right? But that's okay. They're great pillows. I actually have one. It was given to me as a gift.
I don't know why he doesn't call in. You know, he should just call into the show and defend himself. But go ahead, Dave. Yeah. You got something you want to talk about?
I mean, why do you need to? Is it bad to be gay? It's not bad. So real quick, I'm going to be speaking at some conferences out your way, October 25th and 26th, TrutherCon.com, and it's in Texas, Dallas, Texas, and then early November, 7th, 8th, and 9th in the desert in Arizona. Well, Arizona is a desert. It's at internationaltruthexpo.com. All of these can be found on my website. And then in February, I'll be speaking at Anarchapulco in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That's a 5-day conference. It's awesome to be around all of these awake, aware people. And the beautiful thing about all three of those is Conspiracy Music Guru will not be there. So you don't have to watch your back, if you know what I mean. All right?
All right.
Man, it's going to be harder and harder to play that music every day now just because of Dave.
I don't think so at all. There's nothing wrong. Excellent show. Dave is hilarious. And the texter, thank you for the how to get to that 432.
ConspiracyMusicGuru.com, just like it sounds, and 432 right there.
Great music.
Right.
By the way, you can go to the YouTube channel or you can go to the site and you can see the videos and the music. A lot of the songs that are on the air on the shows that I do.
The videos are fantastic. They're as good as the song.
They're great.
They're mind-blowing.
Television watching news believer. I just love the rock songs he's done, and this stuff is great.
I actually have all of his videos on my app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. You can find it at flatearthdave.com. $3 app. Mind-blowing, teach you all about flat earth, and then you can teach yourself, and then one day when you bump into a Brian, you can try to teach him.
All right, boy. Joe.
That's a lot.
We have a caller. Keith came back in. You want to jump on that, Joe?
Oh, yeah. Let's get back. You know what? Keith started me with the mind-blowing. Let's go back to Keith.
All right, Keith, you're up. Thanks for calling in, man.
Hit us, Keith.
Hey, aloha, guys. Yeah, so we talked about the cosmological constant problem. I won't rehash that, but it's the biggest failure in the history of physics. But instead of looking at their theory and thinking, oh, maybe our theory's off, they just continue to do more math magic and chalkboard calculations, and they come up with 96% of their theory being dark matter and dark energy, which nobody knows what that is. It's never been proven. And you even have the astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson claiming, his words, not mine, we are 96% stupid about the universe. If you're 96% stupid about your theory, maybe your theory is 100% wrong. And then if you look at one more, which is the three-body problem, they cannot figure out mathematically or any supercomputer in the world, nothing can figure out how to get more than two bodies of mass rotating and revolving around each other until the system becomes chaotic and collapses on itself and destroys itself. And there's a great little video on YouTube about the three-body problem. It's a little TED Talk, 5 minutes long, and he goes into all these reasons why it hasn't been solved, it can't be solved, it's impossible. And then at the end of it, this is the best part. He says, if you want more information on this, and then they recommend a science fiction novel. That's just perfect. Yeah. So anyway, they have so many problems with that, with their theory. Meanwhile, in reality, the Earth is experienced as flat and stationary. I ask people all the time on social media, I said, do you experience the Earth as flat and stationary? If they're intellectually honest, they'll say yes. And I'll say, do you know what Occam's razor is? Most of the time they say no. I said, well, that says that the simplest definition or explanation is usually the one that is true or correct. So if you ask yourself, why does everyone experience the Earth as flat and stationary? The simplest answer is because it is flat and stationary. And then one of the best ones is I say, now, does it appear to you that the sun and moon are moving through our sky? And they'll be like, well, yeah. And okay, and if you ask the question, why does it look like the sun and moon are moving through our sky? The simplest answer is because they are moving through the sky. So in my opinion, Occam's razor slices the government scriptures for the blue ball belief system to pieces. All the theoretical, hypothetical math magic is needed, complicated math, complicated chalkboard calculations, but meanwhile, in reality, truth is simple. Lies are complicated. Truth is simple. The Earth appears flat. We see the motions of the luminaries going through our sky because what we observe is real. What we observe is true. Or you can have blind faith in what the pseudoscientists teach. So that's my take, guys.
Well, Keith, hold on. Let me ask Keith a question real quick, and you, Dave.
Yeah, go ahead.
We have these words that hold so much weight, and so I always like to stop and look at the language. Keith, when we use the word theory, isn't that just a nice way of saying guess? And then when science is a word that just drives me bonkers, because if people look at it, isn't science just common knowledge until disproved? Because science is not fact. And people hold this word science to such high esteem, and I just wish people would redefine what those words mean, because really theory is a guess and science is common knowledge until disproved, right?
And they love saying that the flat earthers are science deniers. No, we actually use science. The heliocentric hypothesis side, they just use the word science. Go ahead, Keith.
No, that's exactly right. It takes theoretical, hypothetical, imaginary science to try to prove the globe. But all of the natural sciences, the real true physics that we live with and technology we use every day is always based on a flat and stationary Earth, whether it's the physics of aviation or the physics of a microwave transmission that goes hundreds of miles at a time, which only works line of sight, could not work if the Earth had curvature, and also just the physics of a natural large body of water. The natural physics of a large body of water is to be level on its surface and need a container. And we're told when we're looking out at the horizon that we're looking at curvature, but everyone on the Earth can see you are looking at something that is perfectly flat, level, and horizontal, always, regardless of scale and regardless of altitude. There's never any curvature on the ocean.
And when he was talking about dark matter and dark energy, the theory of gravity is 96% wrong. So they made up dark matter and dark energy. So that'd be like, hey, Keith, remember that $100 you lent me yesterday? Here's $4 back. We're even, okay? Because 96 of it is dark dollars and dark energy. Trust me, bro, you got them.
Dave, maybe you should make a T-shirt that says "Flat Earth is fact" and "Globe Earth is science" and sell those.
How about globe Earth? Trust me, bro. Earth is a globe. Trust me, bro.
Joe,
I got a question.
By the way, Keith is coming out with a book called Top 10 Reasons Earth is Flat. A little short, little tiny book. It's coming out hopefully soon before Christmas. And
hope so.
You'll be able to find it on my app. If you have the app, it'll pop up when it's available.
Awesome, and obviously make sure you guys let us know this, but here's what I'm going to leave you with. You guys can answer on the other side. Will AI eventually prove you guys right? That's what I want to know. We'll be back after the break.
Already has.
All right, we're back here. So the question I posed before the break because everyone says how smart AI is, and it's gonna solve all the medical issues, and it's gonna be able to mow your yard and do your laundry, and nobody's gonna have to work anymore. Will AI prove you right? And if it does prove you right, will they just simply reprogram it?
Well, so that's a great question, and I have the answer. If you go to my YouTube channel, DITRH, stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, I have a series of maybe 10 or 15 videos already where I countered AI, and it admitted the Earth is flat, that it makes sense. Occam Razor says it's flat, science says it's flat, and that the heliocentric hypothesis is impossible. But I think that's all by design. So you remember when we were kids, we didn't have calculators. Now kids have calculators. You ask a kid how many dimes are in $100, they can't answer you because they're using calculators and they're not using their brains. Most people, we can drive across the country using road maps and memory, but now that you can't drive across your town without GPS because your brain has become weak. Then they had spell check. Now people can't spell because spell check does it for them. Then you have AI. It's doing everything. They're going to get to the point where people's brains have melted. They can't do anything. And then at that point, they're going to change it just to official government propaganda. And that's all people will be able to spew is what comes out of their computer.
See, that's that paradox, right? Where technology makes lives seemingly better and more prosperous for the individual, but then there's always that who controls the technology and will enslave you with it. Because, I mean, I like the Amish. I think the Amish is a great way of living. Those people are very virtuous. They're very, they got good morals. But I don't know if I want to learn how to shuck corn or nail a house together with my neighbors. I don't know if that's what's the world that I want, Dave. You know what I mean? Because
the Amish are the best. They're amazing. And think
about this, Dave, real quick. Cause
I'm almost ready to go there.
Well, think about this. I like the ability to be able to spell words and do math. However, and this is just about efficiency and moving society forward. If machines do the work for us, think for us, which I like thinking for myself. I'm just throwing it out there. Can't my brain go to other more prosperous places if I don't have to sit there and do the math in my head? Think about how I'm going to fix the sink because I don't know how to fix a sink. I have the ability, the resources to have somebody else do that. Don't we actually move forward? So I don't like AI because I don't like who controls it. The technology never scares me. It's who has control over it. But I think it's okay that there's calculators doing the math because I think it gives my brain more ability to move forward to something more prosperous, Dave, if done right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but the thing is, the people that are controlling Zoom and everything else, they're spying on us, but we use it against them. Right now, we can use AI against them. And you have to just make sure AI doesn't melt your brain and that you're able to write a sentence on your own. You're able to create a spreadsheet on your own. But the problem is people are lazy, and if you don't exercise your brain, it's like muscles. It atrophies, and it's unable to do anything.
Maybe humanity's job is just to replace ourselves with a technological future. Maybe that's the goal. Humanity's just supposed to upload humanity into a computer, and then we can live.
We're already in a computer.
We can live
just backing us up to another drive.
We can live forever in the computer, and we don't have to have these husks to worry about anymore. We can just program ourselves into the Borg. Joe,
you're not far off.
It's interesting because I start thinking about like the only person's phone number I actually know,
right,
is my wife's. Right, it's the only one. I literally could not call a single person.
There's been many stories of people, their phones die, and they have to call somebody, but their phone's dead, and they don't know anyone's phone number.
You won't believe this, Joe. I have your number memorized. I remember a lot of phone numbers still.
Right. And, I know the Patriot number, the 800 number, right? I know the call-in number to 1360, but it's amazing. Spelling. Listen, I'll say this. Even before spell check, I was never a good speller. I was dyslexic growing up. I always sucked at spelling. I was great at math. But, yeah, I think there's an argument to be made that all of this, I guess, progress, as we like to call it, has dumbed us down in certain ways, right? Our body doesn't, or our brains really don't need to retain the way it used to. And Dave brought up an interesting point that AI could actually be the ultimate control tool because it'll just regurgitate whatever the government programs, and that's all anybody will regurgitate.
Oh, did I lose you, Dave?
No, I'm here. You're absolutely right.
I wonder now, all of a sudden, it's starting to make even more sense, right? This huge AI push. There's a lot of people that worry about what AI could potentially become, and we seem to be going at this breakneck pace. I mean, if you look at Wall Street, right? Let's face it. If it wasn't for AI, Wall Street would suck. But AI, anything AI is the greatest thing ever. Just kind of puts a little doubt in my mind about how great this is going to be. You know, we've talked about stuff like Neuralink in the past, where hey, a paralyzed person could maybe communicate better. Like people that are paralyzed to the point they can't talk could be able to communicate. Maybe you could be able to potentially, I don't know about walk again, but at least regain some type of function in your extremities. You're like, wow, what a great thing, right? That's a great thing. But then, no one ever thinks about the negative effects of what that could be in chipping people and putting implants into people. And then AI is like, hey, we don't need to put implants into anybody, right? We'll just program these things, and pretty soon, no matter what you search on the internet or search on your phone, we're going to make sure you only get the answer we want you to see. Wow. Now that is control.
Well, I just want to say that I told you so. 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 Yeah. But you didn't listen. I told you so. I told you so.
We're back. The Half Empty Cup, the final segment. Where does the time go? Joe and Jason, Flat Earth Dave. My special talent, being able to come up with short and fat jokes in high-pressure situations and not being gay. My friend James can tell me if anyone is gay in 2 seconds with just a glance. He's always right. It's kind of disconcerting. Again, I'm not gay. Please believe me. Okay. I believe you. I mean, I can't see you, so I believe you. Something tells me Jason is a sort of high IQ and misunderstood. Nah, that's giving him way too much. He's just brain damage. Come on, man.
I don't believe in IQ. I think that's a rigged system. It's just a way of separating people. What one person says, right, hey, intelligence about a stupidity.
We're all unique and special in our own way, right? Everyone gets a trophy. Hey, Dave, before we get out of here, tell us again. I know you've done a few, but how do people, when you start getting into Dave, it's all of a sudden you're like, God, I got to have more Dave. How do people get more Dave in their life? A non-gay way, Dave, in a non-gay way.
I wonder if he's in the bathroom. Dave,
Wait a minute, can you not hear me?
No, now we can. Now we can hear you. Go for it.
I was talking. Go to my website, flatearthdave.com. You can click the interviews tab is right there. If you want to learn about the old world and flat Earth and all things that matter, go download my app. The app is $3. It's a one-time charge. There is a social media aspect on the app where you can message other people. There's a matchmaker on there. There's a meetup maker. There's some search functions which require a yearly subscription of $11, but you don't need to get that. If you just want to learn about Flat Earth, $3, one-time charge. And watch the daily video every day. That's all you got to do. Check out the FAQ page. Check out the Old World page. Check out the Biblical page. Check out the shopping page and get Conspiracy Music Guru's pillows. They're really gay, but they're nice pillows because the gays have the best pillows. And that's it. FlatEarthDave.com.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave. Yes, I guess so. You know what? I'm not even going to argue that. They must make the best pillows. Absolutely.
They do. They do. They're good at that type of stuff, that linen-y stuff, But the pillows are amazing.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So,
Dave, just to help out old Alex there, Conspiracy Music Guru, there was a guy in my school who was gay. I was back in high school. His name was Dave, and they all called him Gave. So be careful. Nice. We might have the guru on one of these days. Nice. He might be firing back at you.
There you go. There's policy. Jason's special talent again, right there. Just showing it again.
Be careful. You might be called Gabe.
That's very high IQ stuff right there.
I feel more intelligent as I sit here.
Always great having you, Dave. Thank you so much. You make our lives better. Great job today, callers, texters, everybody else. Enjoyed having Keith on. Would love to have Keith on when his book comes out. That would be spectacular.
Amazing. Yeah, he's well spoken and he can fire off the stuff better than I can.
All right.
There you go. It's over. Got to find something else to do now. God bless everybody. Jason and I will be back to wrap up the week tomorrow.
See you, Dave.
See ya.
Stop bitching. Do something.